I'm glad you're asking, Rod, because the truth is that when you talk to people around you, no one is really telling you that it's outdated, right? Like if you talk to experts, they will tell you, but if you sit down like next to a finance team in any B2B company, like a consulting firm, a construction company, or even a B2B tech company, right? They will tell you that's the way it is. They're not going to tell you it's outdated, right?
Mm.
And the truth is that you look at like all, and it's one of the key tenets of like what we're trying to do here at Upflow, but we're not the only one. Like it's a common trend around the professionals working in the space. But if you look at like all payment verticals, whether it's consumer, online, subscription, like even retail as well with Square, like all of them has been revolutionized in the last 10 years, right? 10 years ago, like when you would go for a drink with your friends, you would exchange money with them with cash, or maybe with a check, or maybe with a wire transfer. And now you're probably using Venmo, right? Or PayPal, or any new solution, right? And the thing is this, like, if you look at this, like Square, like in the US, you're just going to use your phone to just touch the terminal and just pay and just go, and you don't even know how it's working. But the truth is that in the B2B space, in the US, people are still using checks, 40% of B2B transaction in checks, a piece of
Crazy.
paper in an envelope, right? And the thing is that you say it's crazy, but they don't say it's crazy. They say that's the way it is, right? And you're not necessarily happy when you receive a check, but you're not gonna, just gonna jump and say, "What? I got a check," which is actually insane.
Yeah.
And when you think about this a little bit deeper, like we can say, well, we don't use checks in Europe anymore, if you live in Europe. But the point is that receiving like a PDF in your mailbox, which is actually called an invoice, having to open it, copy pasting like all of the details into your banking interface, and then wiring money 90 days later and stuff. If you think about it, this is total nonsense, right? When you think about the world, in the world of API, and you don't need to be like a crazy engineer to think about this, but in a world where everything is interconnected, receiving this money on your bank account and then manually matching it, it's just like this overall process is totally inefficient and it needs to be changed. So what is interesting is that it's a very, very slow moving space. There's a lot of different players, a lot of different like tools. There's a relationship as well between customers and vendors that is not helping at all. And so it's a slow moving thing, but it's definitely moving to a space where we say, well, in 10 years, it's quite unlikely that people are still using checks or wire transfers to actually like pay. And that's the vision we have with Upflow, is not only like to solve how they manage their order to cash cycle today, but also bringing them into, like I'm sure you've read the book Crossing the Chasm, but we want to bring them to like the stage where we believe the world is going, which is currently done by early adopters, but in the future will be for everyone. So that's the positioning we have with Upflow and why we're building it.